Shalom, Yashrala. This is your brother Dawud Daw from GMS Tampa Bay '07, coming at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, I can pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions. All right, to edify the elect. All right. Now, I'm kind of in a different location right now. I'm not, where I'm normally at. So, Lord willing, the sound quality of this video is going to be, it's going to be on point. It's locking for the, any background noises that you hear. All right. But continuing on with this here, the economic woes dealing with China. All right. It says, China's actual gold reserve mighty enough to kill the U.S. dollar. All right. RT's Kaiser report looks into the post-U.S. dollar world as more and more countries are opting to use their national currencies as they fall victim to relentless U.S. tariffs and sanctions. All right. And now when they mean by other countries using their own currencies, all right, because we know in any other country they use their own currency, like the civilians would use their own currency at whatever stores they at. But what they're talking about is the petrodollar. All right. When dealing with selling, buying, moving oil. All right. Every country need oil. Right. Or if they're an oil bearing country, they want to sell their oil. But if they want to sell their oil, they need American money to do so. All right. And so, but what's going on now is, like the scriptures say in Ezekiel 38 about Russia being a guard unto these other nations. All right. A military guard unto these other nations. You see now China is also being a guard unto these other nations when it comes to the financial sector. All right. So what they're doing basically is propping them up to be able to use their own currency. All right. And they backing them. You know what I'm saying? Like if America say something to y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like in the last report, they mentioned Muammar Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, and so on and so forth, who tried this beforehand, and America went in and slaughtered they leaders, you know what I'm saying, and took over their countries. But China's like, nah, bro, y'all got the green light. They're not going to roll on y'all like that. We got your back. Go ahead and do what you need to do to help yourself out, and we're going to back you financially. And if they try to say some shit, we got you militarily, you know what I'm saying? And if we ain't got you, Russia got you, you know what I'm saying? Well, us and Russia got you. It says Max Kaiser discusses the issues of the U.S. weaponizing its currency with the head of research for goldmoney.com. And really, really, the American dollar is weaponized. Like I said, this is really an act of terrorism, all right? Because of the fact of when you understand the petrodollar, like I was saying, if I give you an example. Let's say Iran want to sell. Well, we're not gonna use Iran because they actually in the debacle. Let's say Iraq, right? Iraq wanted to sell some oil to Let's say Iraq wanted to sell some oil to, let's say, Germany or something like that, or Iraq wanted to sell some oil to Mexico, right? Some shit that America's name not even in. Well, in order to do so, Iran or Mexico would need to acquire American dollars to be able to move, to purchase the oil with. You know what I'm saying? So this is how it's weaponizing them. So if you want the American dollar, all right, you need to produce something and sell it to the Americans. All right. And then the Americans is going to pay you in what? The American dollar. You take the American dollar and don't spend it as far as money, but you use that because it's the only currency you can use to buy and sell oil or trade oil. So now the Mexicans are going to take the American, let's say they got produce, right? They selling American produce. They're going to get, let's say, $1 billion in produce, right? What, just numbers, they're going to get $1 billion in produce. They're not going to spend $1 billion. They're going to use that to be able to purchase $1 billion in oil. They had 10 billion on oil, but they own money, but they can't use their own money. They're going to use this 10 billion in American to now purchase the oil, right? And then from there, and Iran can only accept the American money for that, you know what I'm saying? And in that billion, what America's going to wind up taxing them on that shit, you know what I'm saying, twice, because they're going to get the products from Mexico that they needed to be able to get the money. Then they're going to tax them again through the SWIFT system, all right? It says, Alzar McLawn, who points out the U.S. knows that the global financial system doesn't have an alternative to the greenback yet and uses it to his advantage. And really, that was a slide of words talking about the greenback. The greenback was with who was it? It was either Abraham Lincoln or it was JFK tried to implement was the greenback. I think it was Abraham Lincoln, and that's why he got killed. All right, same reason Saddam Hussein got killed. He tried to come up off of that damn, basically that central banking system that they had at that point in time. You know what I'm saying? He tried to print America's money. All right, and then they wound up killing his ass over. Same with JFK. But nevertheless, it says the U.S. is giving a message to every other nation which relies on the dollar for its cross-border trade, or really the petrodollar, the oil trade. They don't want to just come out flat out and say how they got a monopoly on the whole world, because then everybody would know he's fucking wicked. All right? The U.S. is giving a message to every other nation, which is all other nations except for America, which relies on the dollar for its cross-border trade. And another reason, if you understand the petrodollar, what is keeping the American dollar so valuable, all right, which giving these goddamn Americans the sense of, oh, you the shit, you know, your money's worth something, you know, you live in these lifestyles because your money's somewhat worth something at the point in time, you know, it's way more valuable than all the other money on the planet, you know, but only because of the how do I say, the stipulation on oil trade, all right. But if it wasn't for that, if you lose that, then all of that money, all these other nations, every other nation on the planet Earth is holding your money. If they don't need your money no more, they're gonna send it all back, like fucking skyrocketing the inflation value of your dollar, you know, devaluing the fuck out of it. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna need $10 billion just to goddamn park your car. You see what I'm saying? It says the U.S. is giving a message to every other nation which relies on the dollar for cross-border trade that this is actually something not very safe to do. All right, you need to have an alternative. But really, what they basically saying is some death threats. Like, nigga, you remember JFK, right? You remember Abraham Lincoln, right? We don't mind popping our own niggas, so take heed, nigga. Just get your shit right. You know what I'm saying? You see Saddam Hussein, Muammar Gaddafi, we don't give a fuck. We'll do the shit broad daylight, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And your military, you know what I'm saying? Take Saddam Hussein again as an example. We rode up on his military, or rode up in his country, told his military to stand down, took his ass, gave his ass a little bullshit-ass court trial, and then took his ass out in the back room and hung his ass and with a cell phone video and YouTube the fuck out of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, take notes of how we get down to that. So it's continuing on. It says the analysts mentioned China, which will inevitably turn the yuan for trading, at least inside the Asia region. And really, that's what you see going on. You know, that's what the petro yuan is all about. All right, but not only that, they also like what the article is going to, you know, kind of touching on this as well as talking about their damn gold. You know what I'm saying? This is what's going to be backing these other countries and giving them a stable currency. You know what I'm saying? They want to invest in making their own currency. All right, well, China going to fork the bill. You know what I'm saying? It's like you trying to start a business. You go to the bank to get a loan. You know what I'm saying? They're like, all right, we'll back you if something go wrong. You know what I'm saying? We'll take over. You know what I mean? It says, MacLeod said that China has a lot more gold than the 1,842 tons the government officially admits to holding in its reserves. All right, and you know, basically that's basically kind of just stunting on their ass. But you know, according to him, Beijing has been diversifying from the U.S. dollar since 1983 and could have accumulated more than 20,000 tons of gold. He adds that if China begins to back the yuan with its gold reserve, it could kill the U.S. dollar. All right, and it's not really the yuan they talking about. You know, they're not really coming out and saying it. It's the damn petro yuan. You know what I'm saying? Not just a regular ass currency. You know what I'm saying? The regular ass currency, the yuan, is gonna be backed by the petro yuan, just like how our dollar bill here, the dollar in your wallet, is backed by the damn petrodollar, which is the same dollar in your wallet. It's no different. A petrodollar don't look different than a regular dollar in your wallet. Every American got petrodollars in their pockets. All right. The only thing is the stipulation to buy the oil with. All right. So what they talking about here is some you know, but the differentiation is the shit here is the regular yuan they talking about here is backed by so-called gold. All right. But that's a slide of words. I'm just showing these other nations that they can back them financially to start their own currency. Like the top of the article where was it? It might have been in another article I read, but there was some other nations that's trying to start their own currency, more or less to say, and China is trying to back them, or China is backing them, you know, along with the BRICS nations and things like that, you know, with what? Their gold, all right? But the petro yuan, all all right, is backing their damn money. All right, and the petro yuan is basically gonna be the new oil trading system that the world is going to wind up going on. All right, and you see, as China is developing the so-called Silk Road, they're developing a network for trade on of all these goods independent of America. You know, so they don't have to go through the American system, the SWIFT system, and things like that. They don't have to keep getting taxed by America. China is recreating a whole new platform for global economic trade, you know, between these other countries. All right, and they're building a replacement system, more or less to say. All right, and this is why America is, how do I say, having a beef with China. They shit's not necessarily militarily, you know, yeah, the South China Sea deal, but that's a defensive system for China. They beef with China really is, and they plain, but they beef with China is an economic shit. China's stepping up to be a guard unto these other nations economically, all right? We see Russia, and we know Russia through the scripture going to be their guard militarily, but China is so-called backing the rest of the world, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, y'all can come up out of that American wing, come fuck with us on the economic tip. We got y'all. I know y'all tired of this oppression, this trade, and all this whatever, whatnot, the old American trade system, World Trade Organization, all these things are all fronts for these Americans, and they've been fucking us on all these deals, you know? How about we come together and start our own shit, you know? And we got the money to back it, you know? We got the gold to back it, you know? And we got a new system coming out when y'all want to start trading oil. We got this petro yuan. Come on, come fuck with us with that, you know? Our currency is very strong, you know? We've been investing in and building, you know? But, you know, nevertheless, I just wanted to bring that out to kind of show, you know, as the build-up, we going through the build-up of World War III. You know, in other articles, they talk about militarily increasing, all right, as far as weapons and things like that, coming out, new technology coming out, build-ups here and there, and skirmishes here and there. But then there's also the financial scenarios, all right? World War III is not just going to be sparked by one event, one type of event, because they had military skirmishes, or just economic skirmishes. Now it's going to be all over all these things, just like the other wars. The same things was going on before the wars popped off. What? They had economic woes. They had problems here and there, you know, trade woes and things like that. Economies was how do I say? They were so far in debt that basically they had to go to war to get up out of this shit. They couldn't pay their damn loans back at this point in time. So what? They had to basically bomb their damn way up out of there. And really, when you study Esau and his ways of going, that's what they do. They sit here and take these countries over, deplete them of their damn resources, and put them into so much damn debt to the only way that they can get up out of their damn debt is by going to war. And in war, what do? Wind up going and destroying another country and how do I say, the foundations of that country. Then what? Esau wound up moving over there, rebuilding the infrastructure, moving over again, putting that government in debt and draining them of their resources, and then repeating the cycle. All right? But nevertheless, you know what I'm saying? You get to see all these things building up and coming to fruition to set off and spark World War III, you know? As you know, if we was to go in the future and come back and look at what started World War III, well, these are the things, you know? There's problems over trade with the World Trade Organization and trade routes and things like that. There was a problem over oil. There was a problem over terrorists. You know what I'm saying? There was a problem over a regime change. There was a problem over currencies. There was a problem over military weapons. You know what I'm saying? There was a problem over, you know, just false invasions of countries. There was problems over so-called false chemical attacks and things like that, false flags going on. These are all the things that built up to World War III. When all these countries were at each other's throats, they all had problems with one another. And when the first bullet flew, everybody just came out busting, you know? So, you know what I'm saying, just looking through all these things. But this is the build up to our salvation, you know, more important, you know? Fuck what history going to be going down. This is the build up to our salvation. You seeing all these things come to pass, you know what I'm saying? You know that the only way out is salvation, man. It isn't. Hey, man, because when you look at it in the carnal sense, us Israelites is in the middle of a big-ass shithole. We right here in the damn target place where the whole world's want to blow the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't got shit to do with this, you know? We just sitting along and gonna get blowed the fuck up with their ass, you know? But the comfort is that we know that we was, you know, the elect, you know, Lord willing, part of that number. We was set here to prophesy the downfall of this, and we're going to be delivered from here, you know? So with that, we're going to go ahead and close out Lord willing. This lesson was edifying into the elect. I'll go ahead and say, Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of great millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. A salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Stay strong. Shalom.